Let me bring in Democratic Senator Sen Coons to the conversation. He's from Delaware. He's a member of the Senate Judiciary and Foreign Relations Committees. Senator, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. What do you do about this wiretapping accusation? Where does someone like you, when you see this on Saturday, and now you get into your office on Monday morning, where do you even start? What do you do?
Well, first, unfortunately, I reflect on the president's long history as a candidate, as a private citizen, in spreading what were baseless allegations. He dedicated years of his life to a campaign to try and prove that President Obama wasn't born in the United States. In the course of his campaign for the presidency, he accused Senator Cruz's father of being involved in the JFK assassination. And soon after being elected president of the United States, he alleged that millions of people had voted illegally without any shred of evidence and demanded an investigation, which I'll remind you the Republican Congress has not picked up. So when I see a series of early AM tweets that are outrageous and that suggest something unprecedented, I have to look at the history of this president and ask myself whether he has a well-deserved reputation of only making allegations that are well-founded in truth. He doesn't. That's unfortunate. That puts all of us at risk. And it's my hope that the Congress will act in a deliberate, bipartisan way and move quickly to get to the bottom of all the allegations about Russian interference in our last election and the possibility of some collusion between the Trump campaign and Russian intelligence or Russian officials.
So the problem is,
we need to clear the air, and we need to get to the bottom of this.
The problem, Senator, is that certainly for journalists, we have to deal with Obamacare, we got to deal with immigration, we got to deal with tax reform, we obviously have to deal with this Russia stuff, and now the Republican chairman of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees say they'll investigate this. It becomes a bandwidth issue after a while when new, fires are lobbed in and Congress is taken up doing that. How on earth do you separate this? Do you include this Obama tapping Trump in the investigations, or do you disregard that?
Well, I think any time that a sitting president of the United States makes a deeply concerning or alarming allegation, we need to have it investigated and cleared so that the millions of people who voted for him have some reassurance that we are doing responsible and thorough oversight, even though I personally think this is a baseless allegation. I do think it distracts from our ability to govern. Look, Ali, I left a meeting earlier today here in Philadelphia with a whole series of CEOs of major corporations and hospitals and universities to give a quote about these tweets. It is distracting us from making progress on the issues that average American families want us to be working together to address.
What do you do about it, though? That's frustrating. What do you actually do about it? Are you going to take each of these as a piecemeal matter, or at some point do you as a caucus come together and say this has reached a level of absurdity that requires a different response than the one that says we'll deal with this in this committee and we'll deal with that in this committee and we'll go on this TV show? What do you do?
In a Republican-controlled Congress, where Republicans have the levers of power in both the House and the Senate, I reach over to my friends, Senate Republicans, and say, you have a responsibility here to work with us in a nonpartisan way to speak to the general public about this ongoing and very disconcerting practice by the president to give a sort of balanced, here's how I intend to govern speech on Tuesday, and then by the weekend have all of us running around giving answers to questions about an ungrounded and frankly alarming accusation. I think the only folks who can really move us forward in a constructive way would be the president's core advisors, who might be able to persuade him to stop tweeting in the middle of the night, and the leaders of the Republican Party in the House and Senate, who need to step forward and say, we are going to get to the bottom of all these Russia-related allegations and do it in an effective and prompt and thorough way, rather than stonewalling on some elements of the investigation that needs to be done.
Senator Coons, good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us. Senator Sen Coons is a Democrat of Delaware, member of the Senate Judiciary and Foreign Relations Committees. I want to go back to my panel, Norm.